Hello there, wherever you are, no matter what is happening around you, I want to welcome you to this great program, Through It All. This is a program where we share our lives, our stories, our testimonies, the things we have gone through in life, just to encourage somebody out there who may be wondering, is this all there is in life? Maybe you're in the verge of quitting or giving up, and you're wondering, why am I here? And you have lost hope. Well, sit there, and after the end, or at the end of this program, I have no doubt your life will be different, and your life will never be the same again. So welcome to this program, and here we are. We have wonderful people. We always bring people that have gone through stuff. Because sometimes when you see somebody who has gone through or who is doing a great thing, like a great minister or a great businessman, businesswoman, people who have succeeded in life, you always wonder, did they start here? But nobody starts up there. It is through fighting and many battles, and that's why we are here. And here we are with Reverend Faith and Bishop Geoffrey Gachie and Dr. Lizzie Gachie. They have joined us tonight. And I want to give them a minute each just to say hello, and then we'll jump into the program and share what the Lord has brought us through. Let's start with Reverend Faith here. Good evening, our viewers. I'm happy to join you in your family, in your house, in your car, wherever you are. And I want to say, through it all, the Lord is faithful. Thank you. Through it all, the Lord is faithful. So, Dr. Lizzie.
Yes, I'm Dr. Lizzie Gachie. And I'm glad to be here in this program. Through it all, I have a testimony that God works with us in all the experiences of life. Thank you.
Yes, Bishop Geoffrey.
Hello, our viewers. My name is Bishop Geoffrey Gachie, and life is a journey, and our journeys are different. But by sharing our journeys, you can pluck something from my journey to help you in your own journey. I'm happy to be here, going through the program, through it all. God bless you.
Thank you, Bishop. Now, if I may just ask a question as we begin to kind of introduce this conversation. Who is Bishop Geoffrey Gachie? You know, some of the people they are hearing that name for the first time. They've never met you, they've never heard about you. There are all these big billions of people. Who is Bishop Geoffrey Gachie?
Bishop Geoffrey Gachie here is a husband of one wife. Kama vile Wamasai wanasema kama jicho la pikipiki. We are blessed together with my wife with 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy. I am the presiding bishop of Jesus Glory Center Ministries, and I'm born again. I'm happy to serve the living God. Our church is located at Thogoto. Jesus Glory Center Ministries is located at Thogoto, and we have branches across the country, including a branch in Malaba, Uganda. That is who I am for now. There is much more, but I think we shall disclose as we move on with the program.
Thank you, Bishop. And that's Bishop Geoffrey Gachie. And who is Geoffrey Gachie? before the bishop came to being, there was that Geoffrey Gachie. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your background, growing up. Where did you come from?
Yeah, Geoffrey Gachie was born in a place called Mwimuto in Kiambu district. Born to a father who used to be a farmer. My father used to be interested in growing flowers. So I have grown looking at flowers, and even to date, I like flowers because they make our life beautiful, create a beautiful environment. And I went to primary school in a school called Kibichiko Primary School, and I must confess that I was a bright student by the standards of the day, and I grew in a very, let me say, very poor background, where one of my friends says sometimes the poor would call the poor more poorer.
Okay.
But as I was growing in that kind of background, I developed a desire, and I used to tell my mother, one day I will address our situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what motivated me to get interested in books, because as it were, those days, our teachers used to tell us education is power, and it can help us come out of some of the situations. And even today, I believe my teachers were right. I came to know Jesus Christ in a youth camp. I think I went to Word of Life youth camp, in a camp that was held in the month of April. I love those student Christian camps. And the preacher preached. I remember the preacher who preached that evening was called Ambrose. I wish I could meet him today. I would be a blessing.
I know Ambrose. I met him.
If you know Ambrose, I think I should look for him. And that minister preached and called for an altar call. And I remember I gave my life to Jesus. I loved the preaching. And when I came out of the camp, my life was never the same again.
How old were you then?
I think I was around 14 years of age.
Teenager.
Teenager.
That's young.
Teenager that time.
So when you say growing up, poverty, and the challenges of growing up in the family, create a little bit of the picture in the family. What was happening?
Yeah, really our challenges of when I say we grew in a poor background, I think our challenges came because of the social life our parents were living that time. Because my father used to drink, and sometimes he would come home drunk, having spent all the money.
Wow!
And I think that's where some of our challenges came. And I think because of that, I purposed the whole of my life I will never sit in a bar and drink. I think that's what made me think I should change my lifestyle, because I needed to have a different family from the family we had.
When you talk about drinking, before we come to Dr. Lizzie, that has become a menace in the country. And I remember the other day the vice president was being interviewed and was saying how he's coming out strong to fight the illicit, brews and the alcoholism we are seeing, especially in central Kenya. So, and you said you hated this. So, was he able to change his lifestyle? And what would you say to somebody who is struggling with alcoholism today? Is there hope? Is there a way out?
Yeah, I remember one time my father, when I gave my life to the Lord, and my life changed. For the first time, when I started working and things started changing, my story started changing. I was still single. And one time I visited my father's bedroom when he was drunk.
Wow.
And I told him, my dad, I have come and I want to pray with you that my lifestyle and my children and my future will not be drinking. And my father was like, got shocked that I was going to make a prayer to separate my life, that my future will not be like his future.
Wow.
And I remember that evening, my father told me, you are not going to pray, I'm going to be the one to pray.
Wow.
So I told him, Daddy, go ahead and pray. And he prayed, and then after that I prayed. And later...
how old were you then?
I think around that time I was like 20 years old.
Okay.
And I think that touched my father to the core. Because one time he came to my house, and I had a visiting preacher, and my father knelt down in my house and gave his life to the Lord.
Wow.
And was led by, I remember that preacher was from Tanzania and was called Apostle Malando. And after my father gave his life to the Lord, his first testimony was, the reason I gave my life to Jesus is after observing the lifestyle of my son.
Wow.
And I wanted to live a life like his. So I want to tell anybody drinking out there that it is possible to stop drinking, because my father stopped drinking completely, changed. And my father, when he died sober, born again. I believe one day we'll see him in glory.
Wow, what a captivating testimony that there is hope, that if there are addictions in your life or even in your family, you don't give up. And there's the power of the gospel. That's what you're talking about. And the power of prayer, because I believe all these years you are praying for your dad to, God change. That reminds me of the story of my dad. He was also drinking a lot. And I remember when I came to the Lord, I prayed for him for 10 years. Just praying, God changed his life. And one day he also called me, just kind of similar testimony, and he said, now I also want to receive the same Jesus you talk about. I want to receive him. And when he died in the year 2006, he was a changed man. So it's possible. There is hope. So even the issues of alcoholism and that we are seeing in the country, there is hope. Hey, Dr. Lizzie, wow, what a powerful testimony from the bishop. Tell us who is Dr. Lizzie.
Okay. Dr. Lizzie Gachie. Lizzie Gachie is my name. Titles have come later along the way.
Yeah.
I'm also a pastor with Jesus Glory Center Ministries, and I'm married to Bishop Geoffrey Gachie. We are married now for 32 years, and we are blessed with 3 adult children, and we thank God for his faithfulness.
And the grandchildren?
Yes, we have one glad child from our firstborn, a very, very dear, glad son, and we love him. So we have come through so much, because when we hear maybe one is married and has children, and of course a doctor, because I'm a doctor in education. Some people think that I'm a doctor in medicine, so they normally come to tell me their health challenges. So I usually tell them, not really.
Yeah.
I can talk to you the knowledge that I have.
That's true.
So I have gone through so much that can be maybe a help to somebody. And of course, life has its own lessons, and I thank God for all that. Yes.
So where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about your growing up.
Yes. I grew up actually at Wangige, a village called Mudomo. Yeah, that is where I grew up. Yeah. We were with my mom and my siblings. Born in Nairobi, Setright, that's where I was born. Then grew up just a few years in Karen. Then after a few years, we moved now to Wangige.
Okay.
So now we moved with my mother because my family broke up when I was only 7 years old.
7 years.
So now my mother had to carry the children. In our culture, normally when there's a challenge in those days, the woman would go with the children, so the man goes alone. So she had to go with the 6 of the children. So
6 of you, wow.
Yeah, and she had to bring us up. And I thank God because God helped her for us now to grow up and get educated. So it's a long story.
How did she manage raising 6 children by herself? I mean, the family is, and I know there are people who are listening, and maybe you come from a broken family, and things have not been easy, but there is hope. That's why we are sharing this testimony. So how was life, when she's bringing all of you up and she's a single parent? Yeah.
My mother was very determined when actually she started raising us up, the 6 of us. She was very committed into what she was doing. And she just worked very hard to ensure that we were provided for with food, and also we got an education. Definitely we went through a lot of problems, very high poverty, but she did her best. Because I don't remember any one time when we slept hungry. Every time we had food to eat.
She had a job, or what was she doing?
Oh yes, I want to talk about it because my mom, I remember when I was growing up and I was around 5 years old, that is when she did a course in cookery. So she should have the skills of cookery. But she did not really end up working now in the area of catering. When now we moved away from where she was working, because now she had to go and start life afresh, she started now with hawking. Yeah, so my mother became a hawker
in Nairobi,
in the areas around Westlands, and I remember she would go to the farms, actually people's farms, to harvest crops, food, especially market gardening. That is what she would get, and then now we would help in just cleaning them and packing, and every day she would leave at 3 a.m.
Wow.
So that she's in Nairobi around, should be there by 4:30, 5.
She walking or she was?
Of course, she would get a matatu.
Yeah.
And it would be our work to carry and help her take the foodstuffs to the bus stop. So all of us were trained in that. I started doing that when I was in class 4.
Wow.
So I would wake up in the morning and help carry. Another day, my elder sister. So all of us would actually work with our mother. And
Is she
therefore,
working in Marigiti?
She would actually go to the farms in Wangigi. That is where she used to get her food. She would go to the farms in Wangigi, work very hard to get what now the people in that area want to buy. Then now we start going door to door selling food. And I remember I would have my own chondo.
Wow.
I'm carrying my own chondo, and therefore we're just going asking, knocking on the doors, on the gates, asking, do you need food today?
Wow.
I have potatoes, I have tomatoes, I have cucumber.
Cooked food.
I have all,
From the farm. You're basically working green grocery.
Oh yes, that is what you are saying. And then now they would say, no, mama, we don't want anything today. And then you keep chancing. You go to another home and you do the same. So by the time you are through with it, you are very tired. Mostly we would be through by noon. And therefore, she's rushing back to go and buy more food, more foodstuffs, then of course come and sell. So in a day, she would go to Nairobi twice.
Wow.
And therefore, actually they would call her, I remember the name they would call her is Wamehango. Because my mom only knew how to do her work and take care of her children. I didn't see my mom with such strong social, ties, friendship and all that. I didn't see her work together with so many women because she had a big challenge raising up her 6 children. So that's how we grew up. And when I look back, I see the goodness of the Lord. Definitely we learned to work very hard when we were young. I started harvesting coffee when I was in class 4. Class 6, 7, up to class 7, we were harvesting coffee in people's farms. Yes, and of course getting money just to supplement our family budget and buying our own things as girls. Because I'm brought up in a family of 5 girls and 1 boy. And that is how we would continue. I've worked in people's farms. Just kufanya kibarua. And sometimes it would be very hard because you just go to ask, can I weed these crops for you? And somebody looks at you and wonder, is she going to make it? And therefore, when you do it...
Are you writing a book on that?
Definitely. When you are through with it, it's like, wow, you are the one who managed to do this. And at times, sometimes we'd go through unfair treatment because you have done it, you are through, but somebody feels like, I cannot part with all this money to pay this small girl because she doesn't maybe need a lot of money. I remember there's a time when I did work and that lady was supposed to pay me 13 shillings. And I really worked the whole plot and finished, but she said, no, I'll pay you 9 shillings. And there's nothing I could do. But in the end, you just feel it's okay, you just get that little money in those days. Of course, also fetching water for people. You are fetching maybe 9 barrels. And I remember in those days, 1 mutungi was 1 bob. So for you to get 20 shillings was really work. You have to feel a whole drum. But then God has taken us through to be here to give a testimony that God is able to help us in our very difficult situations in life.
Wow. That's a whole book.
It is a whole book. It sounds
That's
like
a whole book. I don't know what
the
Reverend
Lord is
Faith
good.
thinks.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just amazed looking at you today and knowing you and what the Lord has enabled you to do, and yet seeing that humble beginning. And that just gives hope to somebody, because you know, somebody says, where you were those many years ago, there is somebody who is there today. And it's amazing the way children, because when I listen to you, I think about the kind of things we did growing up. You know, we have also worked in people's farms. We have worked in hired farms, you know, going to dig, then planting, then weeding, then harvesting, sometimes carrying that maize or beans or whatever for 10 kilometers.
I can imagine.
You know, and then picking coffee in people's farms and all of that. And it was a collective affair. And it's just amazing how our parents really weathered through those challenges and brought us into the same. And we can look back today with gratitude, you know, just to see what God was able to help us do. We didn't die. You did not die working in people's farms.
Yes.
You did not get lost there, because somebody could have given up hope and not acquired an education. But today now we are saying you have a PhD, you know, from tending somebody's farm. And today, so there is hope for somebody that where you are today is not where you will always be. It is just a stepping stone. Yeah.
And I think that's what we'll be, you know, looking at after we come from break to see how does that kind of a story change from hawking food, people's houses, and we know what goes on with that, and going to, you know, cultivate for people's, you know, people's farms and all that, and what Bishop shared. How does somebody come out of that and now become like the people you are today, people who are respected in the society, people that you can say they are now international. I mean, you have been to many nations, blessing many other people. I mean, when people saw you those days, I'm sure maybe without shoes, clothes that are not clean, but nobody ever thought, you know, maybe Bishop can make a comment before we take a break.
Yeah, sure, yes. I can say God can change your story as you make your life journey with Him. And I can't wait to share how God can change somebody's life. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. It's true, God is able to because when we go through life challenges, many times we think so much about the pain, the loss, whatever, you know, and we lose hope, and people are likely to lose hope. And maybe you're listening to us or watching this program and you're saying, there's no hope. You know, in Kenya today, or even in the world, there's a lot of desperation. People are going through so much, a lot of economic hardships and problems, and we know prices have gone up, everything is going up. There's war, rumors of war, you know, famine and all those kind of things. And people are likely to lose hope. But again, there's a preacher who came from California one time, or rather he lived in California, who said that, you know, winners never quit and quitters never win. So we'll come back and see how is it or what is it people can do so that you don't give up and you don't quit. And I think that is very important in this life, because again, life is a journey, and there's so much pain, and now somebody who was doing what she was doing, now she's sitting here and saying, I'm doctor. I mean, that's really, it's a transformation. And we are here also to bring transformation in the lives of other people. So we'll come back after this break. We'll share with you, and I'm sure they will share with us what they have gone through and tell us more. How did that story change that now we can see Bishop properly dressed and from all that poverty and the love for flowers? No wonder the wife is quite flowery. And we will share more. God bless you. We'll see you after this break.